For people that are on a similar journey, maybe they're working as a data engineer right now, they want to go off, do their own thing, maybe start a consultancy or just start freelancing or something like that. Any advice you would offer a person in those shoes?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that I usually tell people is you got to figure out what your way to land clients is going to be. And it doesn't have to be the same way I've done it, right? Like I say content. It took me a while to get to the point where content worked, but I think part of that is because I wasn't doing it intentionally. I was just kind of like, here's stuff I'd want to read. Now, when I talk to people about content, I talk more about marketing funnels and like how do you go from like the awareness to like getting down to desire to going down to these different layers of content. And that's how I think about it more. So there's that aspect of it. Whereas like you could put out content forever and none of it could ever speak to the client, but that's in marketing. You can also do sales if that's what you want to do. Most consultants I've talked to start by networking. They just go
Mm.
back through their network and talk to people. They talk to, their families. They talk to everyone. It's not just coworkers. Their softball league, wherever they have connections. Or you get like vendor partnerships. Vendor partnerships tend to be harder because you have to be giving them
Yeah.
as well. So you do need to have some stuff going already, but you got to figure out where they're going to come from. That's the biggest thing. So once you solve that problem, you kind of have a business, right? Like
Hmm.
then you can deal with all the other things. Cause I think some people come to me and they're like, oh, how much should I charge? And I'm like, well, are you getting clients yet? Cause if you're not getting clients, it's not a meaningful discussion. You really figure out how do I get a ton of prospects in my pipeline? Cause then you can start playing around with how much do I charge? Cause
Yeah.
you can be like, oh, I charge this much. I charge this much. You can start figuring out what people say yes to, what they say no to, what they value, how they like going through a process.
Or they're very focused on like making their website or coming up with the name of their consultancy, and they don't have a single customer, or they haven't even talked to a single customer yet.
Exactly, exactly. I think you referenced Alex earlier. He had a funny line. I don't know if he took it from somewhere or if it's his, but he's like, a lot of people spend too much time getting rich in Excel, which I thought was a really funny way of putting
Oh,
it. You
I
sit
see.
there and you're like, if I make
Yeah.
$5,000 a client and I can get 3 clients a month and whatever, it's like, that's not how it happens. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to work that perfectly. You're going to have to figure out who your client is. You have to go talk to a bunch of customers before even trying. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong. Some people again will be lucky, but most people are going to have to do the grunt work of like
Right.
talking to a bunch of people, figuring out what the problems are, and trying to constantly pitch and repitch and